This is the second after hours of the Iron Designer Superstars. We have one less. Deborah couldn't attend. To save her marriage, she had to go with her husband for a dinner because he secretly planned the dinner. She didn't know. And then, so it was like, either I go like in this meeting or I save my marriage. So I told her, you better save your marriage. And so go for dinner. That's better. So it's us now. And welcome back. Yesterday was a wonderful chat we had. Today, it's the show. Well, we talked about it yesterday that we had to walk up and down our office space or our living room where we work in order to get the feeling of a trade show. I must say, I've been online a lot. It's so different to do this, to get connected with the people and to talk with them. And then you have your meeting for 20 minutes and you have to do everything very fast and so on and so on. But I must say, it's also a good thing because you have your 20 minutes and then it's over, right? So it's very well organized. But here we are again, nicely with Paul, Robin, Martina, and Renee. And so, you know, I made some points which are different than yesterday. I would like to ask you, so what was your first encounter with flowers? So Paul.
Oh, I grew up in a family where we always had gardens, and my grandmother and grandfather always had the best garden, the prettiest flowers around. So that was probably my first encounter, but with the actual retail encounter, I was going to school to be a Baptist minister, and we just got out of school, and my friend said, my grandmother owns a flower shop, she needs help, do you mind going with me? I went there that day, and she said, I need help cleaning roses. I cleaned roses. By the end of the day, I was making dozen rose arrangements, and I've been doing it ever since, and that was when I was 17. So yeah, so that's how I got into it.
So you have an anniversary.
Can't stop. What?
You have an anniversary.
Yeah. A long time ago.
Wow. And Robin?
My first encounter, I was 15, and I went to pick up flowers from our local flower shop in Utah. It was called Clearfield House of Flowers with a friend, and we were picking up flowers for his mom because she just had surgery. And I was at the age almost 16, needed to get a you know, a little after school job. Just one second.
Tell Erin to be quiet.
Yeah.
I know where she is.
That was my friends here in the office.
That's right.
Reality, right? It's a talk show, reality show.
Yeah.
So we were picking out flowers, and I was at that age. I wanted to get a little after school job, and I'm like, there's no way I want to work in fast food or anything like that. And I just asked the manager there, I'm like, I will do anything here. So she's like, I need a bucket washer after, you know, so I would come there every day after school, cleaned roses, I loved it and never left. So
wow.
Never left. That was my first encounter. I just absolutely loved it.
It's really in the bones.
Oh, a quick tidbit too. We were in the same flower shop in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
Robin and I.
Yeah.
No.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Find out. Small world.
Yeah, I'm from Arizona, same area that Paul is from.
Yeah.
And so it's fun. And then years later, I didn't get it. Like years later, I'm like, wait, Paul Miller? I know his daughter. Like we're
right.
the same age.
We
like,
didn't connect, but we were in the same. It was really quite unusual. All those years later, and then what? 10 years ago now we connected, and it's really fun.
Right.
Amazing. And so, and Martina, you?
Well, I'm your typical Dutch prototype. I was just born in it. I just landed in a farm when I came out. It was just so I mean, as a little me, I was already picking flowers in the farm from at my father's farm, picking amaryllis and just growing through this whole auction system, the farms, doing it all. And then, you know, I didn't want to be a farmer, so in good old Dutch days, they would say, if you don't know what job you want to take, I'll tell you what you're going to do. So my dad sent me to horticultural school, and that's how it all started. I was like, if I don't want to be at this farm the rest of my life, I got to get in a plane and go. So I took off and I landed in a flower shop in Israel during my first years. And I worked in Israel, and from Israel I went to the UK, and from the UK I ended up in Dallas. And I think, Paul, I run into you in Dallas.
At Dr. Delphinium?
At Dr. D, I run into you when we were all part of that happy family.
We've all been connected way past, that was 20 years ago.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Huh?
Okay, later I will tell you about this.
And then Renee, I met Renee when he first came here in 1980. In 1980 at FTD convention.
I was 27.
Yeah, me too.
No, yeah, that's a long time ago. God. Oh, Lord.
Look, Renee, how about you then?
Oh, same thing. I was a Boy Scout, and I was always digging up plants as we went through nature walks and all that. And I was always digging in the soil, and I was always enamored by nature. I think a lot of us and a lot of people that are looking at this will resonate, because I think many of us are attracted to nature and the instant gratification and the wow of it all. So yeah, and then I ended up in a flower shop when I was 13 years old, and by a neighbor who said, oh, you need some money, kind of like what all of you were saying. And my friends were all going to the swimming pool for 7 weeks in the summer, and I was working in a flower shop because I had drank the Kool-Aid, and I was there morning, noon, and night. And then, you know, my mom and dad, I don't come from a flower family, but my parents are both very, very creative. And yeah, so it's just, it got me, and still with it.
Yeah.
Well, you know, the fun thing is this. Well, Robin, I do know from events we did together. That is our connection. But now when I hear all these stories from Paul at Dr. Delphinium Design, do you know that I was the one who opened the new store together with Luid? Because I was doing like a design show somewhere in Dallas, and then he said, well, can you come to my store because we have to decorate this store. So I went to decorate the store. Then years later, Martine was working there, and Luid bought my transportation bike from my flower shop in the Netherlands and came to Dallas and placed it in his store. And then there was Martine. But then with Renee, I do know Renee from way back when I was working for the same mentor as Renee was working for. And he was always talking about this guy who worked there and moved to San Diego, huge success, and so on and so on. And then years later, here we are. All of us in this chat, and we're all connected. What flowers all do to us, right?
Yes. It's a small world.
I have to find a connection with Robin, but I'm sure it comes. That's the only missing link in my life.
Yeah, but you know, the cool thing is that Robin has this link with Paul, which is also incredible. It's like, oh my goodness. And so I think when we have 100 people here on the screen, then we're all connected one way or the other.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Crazy designers, we travel, we go everywhere, and then we run into each other.
No, but aside of that, but now we are talking about different locations, and we all have been there or worked together. We didn't know each other, or we knew each other then, but then we see each other later again. This is hilarious. Really, it is, totally. So, yeah, that was the past, right? But now we are today. So here we are today. So in the new normal, Everything is different, that we do know. So, but how is it now going with you guys, like in a new normal? Because I heard yesterday Martina saying that she is having her whole basement loaded with flowers. I don't know, well, you were saying something about the fragments of the stock, which is nice in the beginning, but you know, after a couple of days, then you have like a kind of dirty tea in the buckets swimming there.
You know what I've been doing? I've been telling my kids to clean up these buckets.
Oh, Mama!
You can do that when they're young.
You know, you gotta work to get food.
Are you from Holland by any chance?
So no, but Paul, so how's this for you? So you are like then.
The first couple of months were interesting. I work a lot on the computer. I design things. I usually go to Colombia every 3-4 weeks, and that's been very different. I even had a flight this Sunday, and it was canceled because they aren't open up to international travel yet. So we've done a lot of different things. During those first few months, I actually did photo shoots here and just brought flowers like Martina did and did a whole book on flowers. And, you know, one week I did, you know, 8 collections, and the next couple weeks later I did another 6 collections. And I just brought the flowers here, and we just turned the house upside down and had fun with flowers. And then we gave them to the neighbors we didn't know because we were new here, and we just leave them on their doorstep. So it's kind of fun to make people happy. It's what flowers do, and it's what we love. And so you turn your home into it. Now I've been going to the office a lot now. We have very private offices. There's only a few in our section of the building. So it's been good, but it's always challenging. Every day is new. And I can work from home when I need to. Like today was a great day to work at home and get a lot done.
Well, luckily, you know, we are working like with flowers, and that we don't have to turn up our houses in like an accounting office, let's say,
right.
with all the paperwork and so on. So we have
right. We have pretty stuff.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's so
yeah.
cool. So and Robin, you too, or but you were in the office, I see.
Yeah, I live super close to the office, and I'm fortunate enough to have been able to come back in the entire time. I can work from home. I have it all set up on my laptop and stuff, but I just prefer coming in to the office, and it's such an open space that there's only myself most of the time anyways in the studio. So I've been lucky enough to keep doing my thing.
You're right.
Out of the office, yeah.
So that's nice. And Renee, you?
I'm retired.
Oh, good for
You'll
you.
never retire.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, I'm really taking this, you know, as many people know, and all of us are in that, when you do a lot of public work, classes, presentations, and I had some special events booked, and you know, that's not there. So I'm re-upping my my website, and I am going through my library, my physical library, and just kind of cleaning up and getting ready for the new way of doing it. I have to say though, I think that even though this is all fantastic, I think that our product specifically is so tactile that people are having a hard time in the industry, and consumers are having a hard time working with flowers and selecting flowers in a 2D world. And because we're so used to touching everything. And I used to joke about that. I said, you know, people will see flowers and they look at them and they're attracted to them. And the second thing they do after they see them is touch them. And obviously on a screen, there are some of the really strong elements of what we do that aren't there between scent and touch. So I think this is like Paul said, it's a new normal, but I'm hoping that we go back to the familiar, well, for our industry at least.
Yeah, that's what I hope too. And you know, I always say, like, if you are like talking about flowers, we can see them on a screen, beautiful, and you know, there are like even television screens now that almost it's like you can touch the things, right? But still, there is no fragrance coming out of your screen. And that's what we missed. That's the only thing they didn't develop yet. About the 3D, yes, that's possible. I did it last week myself. So I made like a 3D trade show booth for the company I'm working for Sunday. But it's like really, you're right, because we have a product that you really want to touch. You want to put your nose in it, because that's the first thing people do, right? Even when it's a plastic rose. They still stick it in the nose, and the only thing you smell is like the Chinese factory. But it's like that's something natural, and I truly hope that soon, it will be different again.
One thing I think is interesting too is we think of all the technology that's happened and all the things. You said something very interesting. The next generation may be able to touch that screen and actually be able to smell that flower. Right. It's true. Whoever dreamed we'd see each other like this on a computer or be able to talk on a phone, it's a great thing. But what's going to be the next great thing? So it's kind of exciting. I agree with Renee. I want to touch and smell, and you want your clients to touch and smell and feel. And it's so different when you're on meeting calls and they can see the product, it's in front of them. That's the best way we've done it. We've sent the flowers to them. We've had the same bouquet and then had both of them there. So we sort of get that same experience, which really.
Yeah, it's an experience, flowers are. And a lot of, you have to be around them. And I feel like the best photography, the best video cameras you really can't see the true color. There's little misses. Like, I can see like in Peter's background, there's orange, there's pink, and then there's another shade of red or orange or pink, red, but you have to really see it with a pure eye to, take on the color. Texture is huge with me. It's just like a green has there's so much more to greens if you feel it and see the texture with a bare eye.
And Martina, we know from you from yesterday that you are like working out of the basement, but now I do see you're sitting like inside with a beautiful wallpaper.
I do have an inside office also, but I try not to go there. But the mosquitoes were eating me outside, so I thought let's just be like you guys inside.
They won. The mosquitoes.
They won. Yes, normally they don't, but they won. But I became a millennial. That was interesting. We had a customer that wanted to have everything on YouTube. So again, the flowers came here. We did a long YouTube. We sent the product to the customer. And then at the same time, we had the same product and we were doing it that way. But then, you know what? I cannot see fun in it. It's fun to do it for 1 or 2 times. But you want to touch the product. You want everybody to touch and smell the product because it's a whole different experience than just seeing it. You know that if you give somebody a flower, they will smile. Mm-hmm. And if you give somebody a picture of a flower, you're not always smiling. It's a different experience. It's an emotion.
It's true. Although I must say that I'm happy that, there is this 3D design program, which helped me really like for 6 months, really like to work from home, not to have all the flowers around me. And then honestly, yes, I prefer to work with real flowers in my hand. So what I did, like working on my computer, was like having like a bowl with water, and once in a while I was putting my hands in the water, like, okay, figure this is like this is real flowers. I have wet hands.
I know.
Yeah.
It's true. And I guess that's why my garden is looking good this year, because I needed to touch something and I want to hold pruners and I want to get dirty. And now we have a lot of blooming lavender.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It's the result of not being able to travel so much.
That's true. That's true. But there's also a future, huh? So, and Paul was already like going to that, like with the fragrance coming out of the screen and what will come next. But I don't know what you guys think, and girls, about the future, because now we are right here, right? But this will go all over, we know that, and we will continue. But for example, like Robin, how do you see this like for like the coming years? How will this go? Like, will people buy still flowers, or do they stop buying flowers, or do they love flowers, no flowers? What do you think? Just the big glass bowl.
You know, I personally think that flowers are becoming more popular. Plants, and it's keeping things simple. Will they be, it's more like DIY, reusing things that are in the house, vases. I foresee there'll always be a special, you need flowers in your life. I think, you know, with all the different organizations and stuff, we keep sharing that. And even people that don't even know I'm in the flower business, I'll go, you know, see flowers in their background on the screens and stuff like that. It's just, I think it's very, you need it in your house. It's like a pretty accent pillow. It's just, you need that pop of outdoor inside. So I think we're good. I think the flower business is good. I have all faith in it. It definitely will change. I kind of feel like we might do more Zooms in the future than, you know, hands-on meetings, but I don't know. I just feel like the popularity of flowers in general will continue to grow.
Yeah, so Paul, but how do you see this then? Because now we are on Zoom as well, right? And
Right.
Robin was mentioning this. Like, we all do know that we have like daily tasks going on, that with Zoom meetings, also with customers who want to see our product, and then you're sitting there, and then, you know, you stick like a flower in the screen.
Right.
Like, okay,
Right.
this is what it is. It feels like this. You can bend it, right?
Right. And
So
that's really difficult. That's really difficult. It's like anything else you're selling. But look at some of the QV TV shows, you know, they sell everything on TV and they do a great job at it. And we do the same thing. It's just how we present it. One of the things I think this whole time in our life has done, the people that can afford flowers, or even the ones that really can't, you'll see them buy maybe that $5, $10 bouquet, because they're going to be home. They want to enjoy something. They want to make it nice. I think anything that has to do with the home in this next few years in our life are going to make people happy. People are buying furniture. They're buying outdoor things. They're buying things to make them happy. They know they aren't going to travel. So they're bringing beauty into their home. And I think with plants and flowers, it may be something that people are going to, in America, get used to more like the Europeans are. When you go get your milk, bread, and butter, flowers are part of that. And I think that's really kind of exciting for all of us.
yeah, Renee, you remember those days, right?
Yeah, I do. I love listening to all this. I keep thinking of the buyers, you know, because we're sitting here talking about all this, but I have spoken with buyers in the past that were relatively new, or they came from a totally different category altogether.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they're told by corporate, go buy flowers. And, you know, that's challenging. I think the advantage is that they don't have all the details that we have. So it's almost like a new paradigm. You know, they're used to buying product online and many of the other categories. I mean, if you buy tires, you know, what's a tire? But I think in our case, and I really think it goes quite a bit deeper, is that because we're selling something that is alive, it has a spirit. And that spirit changes what is in your home, what's in your surroundings. That's why we send flowers to hospitals. And I think that that is what's going to ultimately keep us in business, is that what you're giving is alive, just like having a pet in your home. And that's kind of it. I mean, the rest, you know, blankets and pillows and all that gorgeous stuff is nice, but it's literally like silk flowers. They're beautiful, no matter how real they are, but they don't have that spirit of being alive. And I think that that life force is what attracts all of us to not only be in the flower business, but getting that message across to the consumer, or in our case, the buyer.
But you hit the nail, and you all hit the nail, as a matter of fact. We are now here, and we are talking about the future, right? So what will happen is, like, now the current buyers, let's say, of chain stores or retail florists or wholesalers, they do know where flowers are coming from. They have touched them. They have been at the market. They have been at nurseries. They have been, you know, at trade shows. But there is a new generation coming. So, and when this new generation is coming and they don't have that possibility because we do it all like with Zoom and so on, and they cannot feel, touch and smell it, and also see the difficulty of a farmer or a worker, an employee of a farm, what they go through and how difficult it is, like to bring them from the field into the post-harvest and to select them and so on. I think something will be missed. And I hope that there will be a certain tool that it can be taught to them, that they really can get more interaction. Should we all think about this, like how we are gonna bring this to the next generation?
One thing, Peter, that I've wanted to do for 25 years, and someday maybe I'll do it. You know, you always hear the term farm to table, which is very true. But I think in our industry, and I think the new generation coming up, but not only the new people, the people that are actually the buyers now, when they actually get a real sense of what happens from, and I always say, from the cultivar to the home, you know, if they could see all the process that one flower takes to get to the home, they would be amazed. Last year, there was a bunch of guys that were down in Colombia on a trip, not for Floral, but one of them was in Floral. So he brought like 6 guys in their 30s, all executive guys. They came to the farm and they walked for half a day with all the employees. And they looked at that and said, why isn't this bud $5? Why is it only $2? Right. You know, I could really see, and if we can get the buyers to see that, would be amazing. But I think that's part of our job as teachers and trainers, to get that across to them, because they think it's like a commodity, just like a can of soup, some of them, because that's what they sold before with soup or tires. And then they come in and they really have no idea the process that goes into it. And even fruits and vegetables, it's a lot different. Like the guy that does bananas, I go, how many varieties of bananas are there? He goes, 26. I go, oh my God. You know, so it's an interesting concept. Just because you deal with live product, it isn't always the same, as we all know.
So, but Martina, don't you think that it would be a great idea if, like as we are here in this chat, that we gather together and that we are like putting something up, that we bring this out to the world, like in a pleasant way, of course, not like, listen to me very carefully. This is how it goes. No, but we do this like, because we're all different here in this chat, right? So I think it would be great to, as like ambassadors, to show like the beauty of how it's grown, how it's shipped, how it's designed, and how wonderful it will be at your table.
I think it would be an amazing idea to do it as an industry together and not as individual companies.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Because we all do the same thing. We have our differences, but all we want is put smiles on people's faces and bring beautiful product to the tables. And we all want to give back to the countries where it's coming from. And I think we should be the ones that can do this together.
Yes, that's what I think too. Are you all agreeing?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. I think the one thing that I've, you know, having worked for the California Cut Flower Commission for 9 years, the thing that amazes me about marketing in the United States is that in our industry, we do not sell the features and benefits of our product. I mean, individually we do, we tell the buyer it's this and this, but as an industry-wide group, why we don't go after the people that are not buying flowers with all the benefits flowers have. And we all know it, but for some reason it just does not get done. And collectively, we easily have the money to do it. I mean, you look at all the big companies, especially now with all the there are enough big companies that if you pull that together, we would be on national television or on cable.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I think that's where we get the new buyers, the new people that aren't going to Trader Joe's or whomever and buying just a bunch of flowers to put in their home. I'm not talking about floral design or something gorgeous in a centerpiece, just flowers. And that group we haven't caught yet because they're too busy doing other things. But I think we're all in this. If somebody were to initiate that and get the money pooled together to set the product group aside within the U.S. commercial market.
Well, and this is very nicely said. And I must say that it doesn't need to be the large companies because, you know, there are organizations above all the farms. They, you know, like every country, every region, they have like an organization. And it will be wonderful if they all stick together because we have one goal, make people happy, as Martina was saying. So yeah. But you know, that also, you touched a little button, let's say, where you say like, okay, well, we don't reach those people. We don't reach everyone because they're too busy. They are like having their work life, their private life. They go to the gym, and you know, it's like and their kids and the family and also on. So they don't think about buying flowers. Although we all do know that when you have flowers at home, especially now when you have your home office, when you put like, even when it's just one flower, when it's one flower there, you work like way better and you feel much happier. So actually flowers on unexpected places. But I also think that it will be wonderful if we as designers and producers also start thinking to place flowers on other places to sell them. So not just the e-commerce, but also like maybe other stores or places or unexpected places. What do you guys think? Where could you have like unexpected places to find flowers to purchase in, it could be the United States, Canada, it could be Europe, it doesn't matter, on planet Earth. So Martina, I think you might have like a great idea.
I think take an example from Europe, gas stations.
Gas stations, yep.
Start with the gas stations. People that stop over there are on their way somewhere else. So one thing that everybody probably, and I know we're busy and everybody has a reason not to buy flowers, but these 6 months, the past 6 months happened for a reason. The world stopped, everybody stood still, everybody, some people were in fear, other people were taking advantage of the situation and enjoying family life and going back to simplicity. We can live without a lot of things. And I think once we get through this time, not everybody's going back 40 hours a week back to the office. People are going to start working from home more. People are going to maybe travel less. And the more hours they're going to spend at home, they're going to realize we need flowers. So go to the gas station, fill up the tank, and take some flowers home.
Yeah, and you know, some inside information. I used to work for a company in Germany where they were selling, no, not Bloom 2000. That was another adventure. No. After that, I did another adventure again. So I was working for a company and they were supplying to 6,000 gas stations in Germany.
Wow.
You guys have no idea how many flowers were going through that channel.
Turnover, yes.
Mm-hmm. Incredible. So, but Paul, don't you think that there is also another unexpected place?
Yeah, I think that's great. But I think for myself, I never walk in the door of that gas station anymore. It's a new generation now. You know, you take your phone, you do the Apple Pay, you put the gas in and off you go. There's very few people that go actually inside. But I think one place that I've seen that seems to be very successful, they aren't our flowers, they're beautiful, and they keep them up, is drugstores. You know, there's drugstores. It's not just a drugstore with a grocery, it's a freestanding drugstore, and it seems like a great place. The little rack that's in there seems to be always fresh, and the one that I go to, and then you'll go 7 o'clock at night sometimes, and there's only 2 bouquets left, or 2 bunches of flowers, or 2 market bunches. So I think that's another great place. And I know some of the home stores have tried some things. I just don't think they've done it very successful because nobody has the knowledge. I think it's our job to train the people what they take care of. It's not like a plant, it's not like produce, it's very different, and to show what's good, what's bad, what's old, dated. I think that's a real big thing, that we sell flowers, but we don't train anybody. So I think it's more than just selling flowers.
Well, and then about the drugstores, of course, when you have a headache, you go for like an aspirin, an Advil. And when you see flowers, then you think like, well, let's take them home. But also you might go for someone else who's sick, and then it's like, okay, well, at the same time I bring some flowers too. Exactly. And regarding the home stores, for you all, if you, of course, you have a computer, because otherwise you cannot say this Zoom meeting. So you all have a computer. Go check out in Amsterdam. There is Hennis & Mauritz, and they have like also a pilot store, which is Hennis & Mauritz Home. It's in Amsterdam. They have one also in Germany, one in Copenhagen. Gorgeous. They have sells fresh flowers. So beautiful, so different. And you should see the people who are buying a pillow or a postcard or a candle. A lot of them, they go home also with flowers. Beautiful. And so wonderful to see that in an unexpected place. They outsourced it, obviously, because, you know, someone who's putting candles on the shelf has no idea about flowers. But it's beautiful, really, wonderful. But Robin, you are younger than us. You're the baby. So don't you think that it will be like also like in the IT world, that there could be like, I'm not, maybe like in a store of Apple or so, that they could sell flowers?
Well, you know, I think there probably already is a same-day delivery service flower, just like you would order Uber Eats or DoorDash. I know my kids and my niece, which is early 20s, she's, you know, Uber Eats and DoorDash, all those Postmates, there's so many that she has no problem with just ordering what she wants for lunch on campus, at her apartment, wherever she is, at the beach. I mean, if you were just to send flowers same day to your friend down the street instead of, you know, FedEx overnight, all that, there should be some kind of Uber, you know, there's a connection there, like, you know, pick up at a local spot. And so I think definitely that'll be in our future. We just have to, if it hasn't already. And then thinking about like where flowers should be, a lot of nice places, dining rooms, you know, a lot of nice restaurants. People go in, they have no problem spending a couple $100s on a dinner. Why not have some kind of very upscale, grab your flowers as you walk out the door to take home, you know. They're usually on dates, and people, it's like a perfect opportunity. They're already spending money. You know, they've had the $100 bottle of wine, the $300 dinner.
Oh, I want to know him.
Dinner with happy ending.
Who is this? Who is this?
I'm making someone up. But I mean, a table without flowers to me is a meeting. You know, if you go to the nicest restaurant and it just has nothing, but like a little candle, it feels like a meeting.
A fake candle.
Yeah, a fake candle.
I know.
Yeah, that's already started with a fake candle. By the way, you know, there is like a breeder in the Netherlands, he used to be a breeder in the Netherlands, of lilies. He made gorgeous lilies. And you know what he did is, like, when he went to a restaurant and there were like, or no flowers on the table, or plastic flowers on the table, then he had like a little business card. And that was saying like, the food was wonderful, but it would be like excellent when there was like fresh flowers on the table. And you know, and then he normally paid, he gave his tip, but then sneaky wise, he was leaving this little note, right?
Right.
And then there you go. Like you go to the super trooper restaurant, and then you have like or no flowers, or like some IKEA plastic succulent, where you think like, well, you could have a real succulent because that thing is not dying on you either. But you know, that's the reality, right? And then you were saying like selling flowers. Well, I don't know who of you have been like in Italy. But if you go in Italy to a restaurant, then you have like those guys walking in with arms full of one rose wrapped up, and they come to a table. They're super clever. They look like, okay, this is like a couple. Okay, they look like they're in love. Well, you know, that's my target. And then they go, and sometimes they do a serenade, and you know, and then they you want to buy a rose, and it's like $5 a rose or so. But you know, they're so in love, so they buy. So yeah, you hit the nail, Robin. Absolutely. It's like an unexpected place where we could like create something that's wonderful. Really, it's so true. So true.
You know, the nice restaurants are receiving food deliveries a couple times a day. You know, if there's some connection that, you know, to think of it on the outside, that some like, I don't know, like a Cisco or something that can carry bouquets and just drop them off along with the fresh, you know, whatever else they're delivering. So I don't know. It's a must. Flowers are a must.
Yeah, but one thing I want to say a little bit about history. Robin reminded me. Really, the retail flower shop was the precursor of DoorDash, all these food things. We always delivered flowers that day when we got the order, even till 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And we did it. And I'm old enough to know, I remember when we had to start charging for delivery $1, and people were like mortified, $1, $2 for a delivery. And, you know, it's like, yeah, we need to charge. It costs us money. And then be so outraged that they had to charge for it. But it was the same day delivery. Now we'll pay $12 to get a letter across town, but we have a business that we can do it. And I think our mass marketers, many of them are getting into that game again. We can deliver for you. I think it's another great thing that a lot of people are doing. We're going back to what we used to do, getting it in their hands today. It doesn't have to be overnighted. I agree, Robin. But that's just a little ancient history.
Oh.
No, but you know, it's a returning thing. You're totally right. There is on Facebook, there is a friend of mine, Cornelis Heemskerk, and he posts all kinds of old images from the 50s, the 40s, the 30s. And then you see, for example, also like a supermarket in a car. You know, it's like, it's a car, it's like a bus. And you can walk in, and it's like a supermarket going door by door. It was like, in the Netherlands, you had the SRV, it was the milkman, it was the same kind of situation. And there was a checkout, you know. Now, you see that coming back again. And they think they invented the whole world, but oh no, it was there already. And like what Paul is saying. And I also remember that by charging that $1, and they were like complaining, what I was always saying is like, well, you know what? When I put $1 in my car, it just goes off the driveway and then it stops. So I don't know, you know, and otherwise you bring it yourself. But of course they didn't want to. So yeah, that's it's super interesting. And I love the fact that you guys are really also thinking out of the box. This is like, a lot of those things are like sitting in our brain and they never come on the table, but now sitting all together and it comes on the table. This is wonderful. Don't you think so?
Like a round table, only it's square.
Yeah, right? Yeah, it's very squared, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So Paul, those flowers in the back, do you always have also flowers at home?
I usually have flowers at home, always. At least an orchid or something growing, always. I always have these little places that need something, and if I don't, I have over here, I just cut a couple philodendron leaves and put in some vases. I have palm leaves in one vase. I have philodendron in another, flowers in another, but always have to bring the outdoors in.
Whatever the neighbors have.
Right, exactly. Exactly. They have a big tree, a really big tree that loses leaves in our yard.
Oh, but you can use those too for decoration.
Right, yes, the brown. It's perfect for fall.
Beautiful, gorgeous, absolutely
Right.
gorgeous. But Martine, for sure, you are the one who's like also going to the neighbors to snap off some flowers when it's dark.
I'm gonna take here.
I used to do that, you know, on my little motorbike when I had to go to school. I always had a pair of pruners under my saddle. You know, you had to bring your flowers to school, and I did not always have the budget to go to the shops to buy. So I knew exactly that person has skimia in his garden, that person has hydrangeas, okay, I got my arrangement and chip, chip. But now really on my walks I do it, but I outdoor products. So I cut a lot outside. I had a big herb garden. So all summer long we had just herbs on the table.
But you did go to school, Huis ter Lande, right?
Yeah.
That was a very elegant girls' school.
You know me.
Oh my God.
You know, I'm that kind of girl.
So you were also passing along all those beautiful gardens because that was like in a nice neighborhood.
Oh,
Very
yes.
nice.
Oh, and you know what? One of my classmates did the same thing, and she accidentally left her bag in the garden.
With her.
So they called her. It's like, you know, if you want your bag back, just bring my flowers back too.
Yeah, because you went to the same school then as Els Teunissen.
Yes, but she's very sophisticated.
Yeah,
Really?
Hey, you changed position.
I did. I came outside. It's a little bit cooler. It's a
Oh
little
my
bit
goodness.
cooler.
This is nice.
Is the pool boy gonna come by?
Yeah, the pool boy, yeah. The pool,
cabana?
here's the backyard. It's no pool, but lots of greens.
Oh, but you
Nice.
have the beach close by, right?
Right, yeah. That
Oh,
might be another project, but
Oh,
that's the backyard.
nice.
So much fun to look in everybody's kitchen right now.
So, but you want to see my kitchen? It's not. There's not so much going on. There's bottles of wine.
You should do the dishes.
No, the dishes I did. I did the dishes. Yes, but I can show you also the view, so that you guys know where I'm out here. So this is like Ecuador.
Beautiful.
Oh,
Yeah, it's gorgeous, right?
Beautiful.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Do you have hummingbirds?
Yes, I do.
Nice.
You know what? This is interesting because the country here has the most varieties of birds and butterflies per square mile in the world.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah, they have
And
those
also-
butterflies, those very big ones,
Oh,
Moths.
and also spiders. Those I don't like.
You know, I had an outbreak of bat in my house.
oh,
Really?
Yeah.
Aye.
They were just hanging there. They were hanging. And you know, they told me I had a bachelor house, which means that I only had the male one coming. And if they would only come if they couldn't find a girlfriend at night. I know. Did you know that exists?
oh.
Changing subjects here, but they were just, you know, if the girl took them home, then they would sleep with her, and otherwise they would hang back in my attic.
Oh.
Bachelor back.
I was gonna come out earlier because it was hot. It was hot, but the other thing was I have these woodpeckers that were making so much noise, just screeching at each other. We have a bird feeder, and they come here. The blue jays and the woodpeckers seem to fight over who can get to the bird feeder fast enough.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So and so how's this Robin and Renee? Because you are very close to each other, right?
Yeah, a few miles away.
It's
So
very gloomy and smoky out right now. So I don't know if you can tell, but it's a lot of gold highlight coming in through the window. And Yeah,
It's nice on your face. Looks
I
very
thought you
good on your face.
Marco.
It's looking good on you.
Yeah.
Thank you. It looks like I'm tan, and I'm not tan though. It's just the smoke outside, but it's really warm. Yeah.
It's
At least
warm.
it's yeah, where I am. Yeah.
But your flowers are still doing good there in that.
Oh, they're all in the cooler. It's Friday. I put those babies in the cooler yesterday, except for these. I'm gonna take home.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, it's you know, and that's I've been discussing this also back home in the Netherlands with some retailers to really work on that, to promote that, like flowers at your desk at home. That has to be promoted. That people do know that. And
Every Monday we do flowers in our lobby, and then we do flowers in some of the main offices and on the conference room. It's just, we've always done it, and it's just what we keep doing.
yeah, I've been in your place, and there are flowers all over really all over. Beautiful. And that's what I miss with a lot of companies, where you could walk in, you know, no flowers, but not only in the flower industry, but also when hotels, for example, then you walk in a hotel, huge desk, and then have like, when they have flowers, there's this one little thing standing there. It's like you totally miss it when you walk in. So bad.
These preserved roses, all these preserved roses.
Yes, also that. And it's like everything is, well, and now we get all the dried flowers also. So
Yeah, yes, new trend.
yes. But I prefer to see like real flowers.
And smell them.
Market. We just need to do more marketing. You know, we're singing to the choir, but the people that we need to get, we don't seem to get to. And there's so many people out there that do not know the benefits of flowers. And we do, buyers do, and there's a certain group of consumers that do. And then there's a huge group of people that don't. And that's what we need to change, you know, whether it's in a hotel or whatever it is, you know, and they take a little bit of work, but it's worth it.
But, you know, but maybe we could do something like, you know, you have those home makeover programs all over the place, right? My goodness. So it's like sometimes it becomes from bad to worse, I must say. But not really. But, you know, what we could do is like, okay, we don't redo the house. That we don't. Or we don't redo like the hotel. But what we could do is like, okay, this is before, totally naked, no flowers, no plants. And then we bring in just some plants, some flowers, and then, okay, this is how it looks now. And then, you know, then you see the difference. And then when we probably also look at the people who are walking in, if they're more smiling, let's say, okay, that works. Maybe they purchase more when it's like in a store, or maybe they do only upgrades to the honeymoon suite. I don't know, but, you know, we could figure that one out.
I like that idea. I love the idea of nice house. You could have different styles. You could have different textures, so forth. Go in and put, you know, shoot it empty, and then look what happens with flowers. There was an Arizona magazine I did years ago, and they always had me coming down, what kind of flowers are you going to put in every room? So I put the flowers, then they shot the shots, then they put them in the magazine. And it was important to them. And another thing I think that's really important as we watch TV, as we watch movies, I know we're conscious of it because it's the industry we're in. But when I watch like ABC in the morning, Good Morning America, no matter who they have talking, even though they're at home, there's some kind of flower in the background. And I'm sure it's required, but I love it. And I think they should be awarded for it. It makes people think, oh, they're at home, but they have flowers. So to get that to the American people, you know, it's like maybe that helps us sell, even though it's subconsciously.
Yeah, but that's not, I think it's not so much immediately about selling. I think when we make them aware, like how much more beautiful it is, and also show the budget, because, you know, it's like, we can come with a truckload of flowers. Yeah, of course it looks nice. It's like a whole Pasadena Rose parade or so. That's not needed, but it can be simple. And I think also it's very, very, very good and very necessary, not only to take like those mansions in Santa Barbara as an example, but also a regular apartment, or someone who lives like on the countryside, like in I don't know, North Dakota or so. You know, it doesn't matter. All kinds of situations where you just put some flowers and all of a sudden it's pretty. You know, like I just now remember like looking way back when to the Little House on the Prairie. You know, they had like sometimes also just a little vase with a few flowers, but the whole house was nice. Also, the dresses were full of flowers, but you know, no, but they had flowers. But so what I want to say is like, don't go only for the architectural situations, because that's not needed.
Right. From a cottage to a home room.
You gotta do reality. And well, maybe the five of us, this is a start of something really cool that we can work on. Yeah,
and I think we could, because we are like, we know each other, because that was how we started, right? All of a sudden, we knew that we were connected somewhere, somehow. Incredible. All the five of us were like connected, which is like incredible. And in this talk we had today, all of you were like, again, like full of energy, full of power, full of ideas, and positive thinking. And what I like the most about it is like we all work for different companies, but we didn't say like, oh no, but I have to do this over. And that's what people think about us when they see us as designers at trade shows. Oh, well, she is from this company, he's from that company, and so on. Oh, well, for sure, they don't like it. So they don't talk to each other. What they don't know is that after the show, we all hang out in the same bar.
And we've seen it all.
Not quite.
We've seen it all. Not always.
We're not in competition. We're not in high school. Who's going to be prom queen?
No, you know, and
that's just who we are.
Yes, and I think, and with this this program, we did the after hours, and the time is over, so we have to really cut it. Because I have a timer here, you know, that tells me like how long we are on air. So but really we have to stop this. But wonderful from this meeting is that we accomplished something, the five of us. So we have to stick together and make it happen, that we are promoting flowers. Independence, let's say, like from whatever is happening around us, but we have one mission: make people happy and show them with simple things how you can enhance your life at home, in the office, wherever you are, right? Mm. So I have to step up because I have something for you.
Oh.
Because as we are in the flower industry, you know, I have to do this virtual, obviously. But you know, here's a bouquet for you all. So,
oh, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I'm hugging you.
Wonderful. So, thank you very much, all people who are watching us and listening to us. Thank you for watching. And when the audience is having some ideas, please get in contact with the IFE or Floral Connect. Let us know. It will automatically come to this group and we will work on it. Thank you very much, and see you next time.